What's up, everyone? I'm your spiritual gardener, here to plant seeds of consciousness in your garden. It's just your job to water them. And you hear that? Uranus is retrograde today! What perfect timing! In Greek mythology, Uranus rules the heavens. It's the sky god. So there's no coincidence that today is actually the first day really this whole year that we've had rain. I'm up in the mountains, and typically summertime we get a good amount of rain, but the lightning and thunder is crazy today, and the whole week it looks like it's going to be that way. So we have a bit to talk about, okay? So Uranus going retrograde. Uranus naturally rules Aquarius, and Aquarius is the ruler of the 11th house. So the 11th house represents groups, originality. It represents things with technology. And if you ever, really know an Aquarius, they're a little bit different than the rest of the group. That's typically, what Uranus stands for as well. Uranus is the one planet that actually sits on a separate tilt, different than all the other planets. It also has rings around it. It's a beautiful planet. So out of all the planets, it's also kind of the oddball. But, being ruled by Aquarius also represents, it's like a genius when it comes to science and technology. And, they definitely get, the mark of being like a rebel, because they are known in different times in history when Uranus has made, big contacts. We've seen huge revolutions come about. So this next 6 months is how long the retrograde period is going to be one for the books by far. Listen to that. It's so nice. But anytime that Uranus has gone retrograde, we have seen tremendous change with world events. And, it does last a whole 6 months, and it does go retrograde once a year. So it's retrograde about half the year typically. But having to go retrograde right about this time when everything's starting to everyone's kind of, at that moment of holding your breath. It's definitely going to be an interesting time here the next 6 months. And I had to represent for my Aquariuses out there. I've got my "We Out Here" shirt. So, that's typically what Aquarius is. They're considered the alien. They're that friend that you can actually sit there and talk to about, funky things, and they're not going to look at you odd, or, they're the number one that get tagged as being conspiracy theorists. So that's the best way to put it as well. Wherever you do have Uranus in your chart too, you can if you look at your birth chart, you can definitely expect that that's going to be where you have like a rebel-like influence. So you do things a little bit out of the norm than usual, and it's going to be in that particular house. So if you're familiar with your birth chart and the houses and such, you can look at there, see where Uranus is. There's going to be a little bit of rebelliousness in that house for you, okay? That's why Aquarius is considered like the oddball. And we are in the Age of Aquarius right now, and we have been since November 11th, 2011, ironically, 11/11/11. And, since then, that was right prior to 2012, we have seen the most tremendous changes within our own consciousness, etc. I mean, people have really woken up into new frames of understanding. You hear that? I mean, there's sirens, everything. This is not a normal day. It's not a normal day. I'm in a very secluded area in the mountains. I never hear sirens. If there's snowboarding going on, that's when you hear a siren. Someone probably got hurt. I mean, hopefully everybody's okay right now. So this video is probably going to be a little all over the place. Just bear with me. But there you go. There's some sirens there for you. So expect the unexpected is the number one thing for Uranus being retrograde, okay? So being in the Age of Aquarius, that is our ruler right now. Uranus is the ruler of this whole entire era for the next 2,000 years. So as long as we're alive, if anyone lives past 2,000 years, then hey, maybe you'll experience a new era, but we're all going to be in the Age of Aquarius, in the age with Uranus being the ruler of that era, okay? So we definitely need to pay attention to anytime Uranus makes any big transits. So retrograde, if you don't know, is when the planet appears from Earth to be going backwards. It's not really going backwards. The rotations never do that. It's just Earth is taking a faster leap in front of it, so it's kind of trailing behind, okay? It's like when you look in your rearview mirror of the car and you kind of see a car going back. It's not really going backwards, it's just you're passing it up, okay? So that's what a retrograde is. Some planets retrograde more than others. Mercury, for instance, retrogrades 3 times a year. So most people are kind of freaked out about that one, but that's the easiest one. We're used to it. It happens 3 times a year, every 88 days. Uranus, on the other hand, happens once a year, and it's for 6 months when it happens. So half of the year is always hit by a Uranus retrograde, okay? When Uranus goes retrograde, its main point is to teach us to express our truth. When we flow with this energy, we're not afraid to let our freak flag fly, so to say. It definitely helps ascend us higher. So that's when you see the best breakthroughs, is when you are truly embodying and living in your authenticity. You can't be afraid to break boundaries. It's kind of like taking that fear factor out of the game. So this is going to be a big time for us to rise in our own truth and not be scared. And this whole year of 2020 has had a lot of people very scared. I mean, who hasn't been? Everything's just kind of up in the air and weird, And another thing, we all experience our Uranus return. And this means, Uranus takes about 84 years to go around the whole birth chart, but it'll hit your same spot in your birth chart when you were born. Whoa, look at that. Power just went out. Okay, I'm telling you, this is going to be a crazy Uranus retrograde, you guys. I mean, I'm not even... Wow, and there goes my fish tank. So hold on a second. Woo! Turn that one off. All right. Well, good thing I bought some solar lights yesterday, already preparing for this. My gosh. Okay. So around the age 55, that's when we have our Uranus return, and that's typically when we kind of just change our whole perspective. You'll see a lot of people at that age, they start to dress young again. They, they're not so scared they're not as afraid to kind of show their true selves, as, we're kind of, we have to abide by certain ways of being, or else we'll get looked at weird. And by the time you hit 55, you're like, oh, who cares, man? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to be me. And that's what Uranus is. Uranus is just living in your true self, okay? So we all have that Uranus return, but it doesn't hit until about 55 years of age. So that's just, that's pretty much what it represents. You got to let that freak flag fly. Be yourself. Don't be scared. And that's what is very important during this time, okay? During this particular retrograde, Uranus is, it stays in a sign for about 7 to 8 years. And it entered into Taurus in March of 2019. And, it brought tremendous change in all things that rule things for Taurus, okay? So Taurus rules, if you notice, as soon as it was in March of 2019, really just a year ago, we've had a lot of changes with, climate awareness. Cryptocurrency became a big thing. Taurus also represents money, and this is a new form of money, a rebellious new way. Also, everyone went green. Everyone's into some form of spirituality or some form of yoga or green diet, or everybody now. Before it was only the weirdos, but now everybody's jumped on that bandwagon, if you haven't noticed, okay? So, that's what Taurus really represents. So bringing Uranus into its house, that's where we see the change coming about. And it's only been here for a year, so we've got about another 6.5 or so years of this type of energy. But when Uranus takes its retrograde, that's when we start to see things that need to be changed, okay? We saw the most, climate disasters, and, I remember last year there were tons of mudslides and crazy rainstorms and fires and everything that happened. And it was around, I think it was August through January of 2020 And that's how long it was retrograde last year. And that's when we really saw the, you know, crazy weather. I remember that summer, and I was going down to school and stuff, and it was just like every day it was something new. I didn't know if I was going to make it home. I had to take a different route. So expect that now. And as you can see already with the weather going on crazy like this, it's coming. It's definitely coming for the weather. That's for sure. Now Uranus is going to be making a trine to Jupiter all the way up until September 29th. So this will bring us some help, okay? Trines are a good aspect. It's a 120-degree angle. Most of you that don't understand astrology just understand it's a good aspect in astrology. And it's going to bring about huge humanitarian influences, okay? And because it's making its influence to Jupiter, it's going to be intensified. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the sky. It brings the best luck, but it also intensifies everything. So that's why all the crazy energy we have in Capricorn right now, where Jupiter is, it's intensified craziness because Jupiter is hanging out with Saturn and Pluto, which are two mean planets. So having Uranus make a trine over there will kind of give us a little bit of ease for the time being, up until about September 29th. Then it'll stop its trine. Also, we're starting today with a nice sextile over to the Moon and Venus, okay? So this is definitely going to bring, you know, a lot more harmony into our relationships. And it's kind of going to, you want to take like a snapshot of today because it started today. And this is the type of energy that will be the theme throughout this retrograde. So, you know, we're going to see ourselves showing our true colors without fear and really being able to connect a little bit more with relationships. So that'll be a big plus, something we've really been needing for quite a while. We went through a crazy Venus retrograde, so much needed on this forefront. Also, we're going to see the community come together through all this chaos. So, you know, and especially because all the crazy planets are in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the GOV, okay? And all that crazy political stuff going on. Excuse me. And so through this, we're going to actually see people start to unite a lot more. It's not going to, you know, really be, well, it is them versus us in a sense, but I think the people are going to unite much stronger than that 1%, okay? So we're going to start to come together, and people are going to realize that we need each other right now. We need to come together at this time. I am predicting, though, that we're going to have the most united energy yet, okay? The most united yet through this whole entire hardships that we're facing, through all this crazy energy that we've been having in Capricorn, which rules the GOV and all the political crap, you know. This is really going to bring us together more than anything. So up until September 29th, harvest this energy, embrace it as much as we can, because it is, you know, only for such a short time, and then we've got a little bit of more chaotic energy coming in. But you know, Uranus always brings unexpected change, and this time it's going to be dealing with the GOV, okay? And that's just the truth of the matter, and we can all kind of see that already, we can all kind of feel that, but now it's like game time. As you can hear, the god of the skies isn't messing around today, okay? September 9th, sorry, we have Mars going retrograde. Mars is the god of war, okay? And this one's going to be tough because we're going to have a square, which is, for most of you that don't know, it's a very harsh aspect in astrology. You don't want to see squares in astrology, okay? Mars has already been hanging out in Aries making the square for quite a while, but when it goes retrograde, it's like time to really enforce things, okay? So September 9th, the retrograde, it happens every 2 years for Mars, and it lasts only 3 months, but those 3 months are going to be crazy. They are going to be absolutely crazy, so I really want everybody to brace themselves and get ready for this, because it's not a joke. You know, the likelihood of seeing war, just to be completely honest with you, is very, very high. And I mean, if there's any chart that looks like war more than any, it's this one. It's right now. This is, I mean, looking back in history and being an astrology buff and going through all the different transits and etc., you'll never find something that points to war as much as it does now. Okay, so I just want everybody to be prepared. Really make your preparations now, right now, before September hits. Okay. And I hate to kind of throw any type of gloomy aspects out there because, like I said, I love astrology to be rainbows and butterflies. That's not always the case. So we do need to be prepared. I'd say with about a 4 to 6 month supply of food, that's something you want to definitely try to get stock of. Solar lights. I just got these cool guys yesterday. Oh my God. As soon as I said lights, the power just went off. Jeez, well, it's flickering off. But these are awesome. They're solar, okay? And you can inflate them. It's a little lantern. I'm not going to do all that right now, but it goes brighter, and it even has like a blinking, like, help me effect, okay? So this was like 14 bucks at Big Five. Get yourself some solar anything. I mean, solar chargers for your phone would be very important. If you have backup generators, if you can afford one, that would be huge. Definitely stocking up on food that will last you too. Like I said, 4 to 6 months. Also anything for like camping stuff, like a warm blanket, those warm blanket things that you wear. I'd even get a little camping stove, honestly, because if they do or whatever happens and our electricity, our gas, any of that type of stuff goes out, you're going to want to have that stuff before everybody's out there taking all the toilet paper again. You know what I mean? So be ahead of the game this time. And this is the warning now. Like, get it done. Worst case scenario, you have some extra supplies for a while, okay? Best case scenario, you protected your ass. Quite frankly. So don't take it lightly. I'm not kidding. I don't like to talk about this type of stuff. I like everything to be happy when it comes to astrology, but that's not the case. It's not the case at all. And right now, like I said, we are expecting the worst. It's sad to say it, but it's just what astrology is showing right now. So get prepared in any way possible, okay? Things to protect you as well. So don't mess around. It's not a joke right now. It's really not. I also have a prediction around December 16th, okay? It's going to be a very unpredictable day, predictably. We have Uranus on top of dark moon Lilith, and all of the planets, well, Pluto will still be in Capricorn. It takes forever to move, that's why, but Jupiter and Saturn will finally be out of Capricorn, okay, where it's been doing so much destruction for 3 years, and it'll be moved into Aquarius. But at this time, Uranus will now be squaring those two planets while it's on top of the dark moon Lilith. So December 16th, I predict, is going to be a crazy day. I'm just going to throw that one out there. You know, I just want everybody to be prepared for the most part. Uranus brings tremendous change. And, like, see, there's no coincidence that my power keeps going off like that. These are run by batteries. I don't know if you guys just saw the flicker. But, yeah, I'm gonna end it there. And, just be prepared, everybody. Really be prepared. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you are ready for anything that's to come, okay? And I'm here for you guys. I love you all. I'm actually going to do a quick little card pull since I'm not over on time here. And this is my astrology deck of cards. The moon's on the bottom, huh? Today the moon's making a nice aspect to Uranus, okay? So any feelings that you guys have also been feeling, like things that you want to get started, if you've had new kind of plans that have just kind of started surfacing in your mind, it's time to act on them. Take those, write them down, manifest them, act on them, because when Mars goes retrograde, it's going to be a lot harder. But you know, anything that's been surfacing in your mind, it's something that you want to look at and bring into fruition, okay? All right, so I just want to say a prayer for everybody during this retrograde season of Uranus. bringing tremendous change. Let us all stay protected and give us the best advice that you can during this Uranus retrograde season. Fourth house, okay? And it was upside down, reversed. So this is about the home. This is about family. And reversed might not be the most comforting home situations coming up, okay? What else can you tell us for this Uranus retrograde season with the fourth house card coming up? Cancer, wow, okay. And Cancer rules the fourth house. So this is really telling us that, you know, family and everything are going to be our main focal point. Preparing your home, getting things ready if anything does happen, okay? Now the moon is the mother. The moon are our emotions. So we're in for a bit of a wild ride. But like I said, today marks the stamp. We take a picture of when Uranus goes retrograde, and today, happily, it's making nice aspects to the moon and to Venus. So this is a good time to harmonize your family relationships. But with this being upside down, I just want, like I said, be prepared and have your family prepared for if anything is to come about, that you guys are ready and it's nothing that's going to take you by surprise, okay? I love you all. Until next time.